PW Fan is a pro wrestling podcast created by fans for the fans. And thank you for joining us for episode 53. I am your host, your grumpy old school wrestling fan, collector, barber, and musician, Talk Wrestling, Tim Gilbert.
And I'm your host, the architect of pro wrestling podcast, Funko Pop collector, Steelers fan, Andy.
Steelers fan.
Here we go.
I'm also your host, the No Selling Wrestling Indy fan, Liverpool supporter, Jeremy.
Jeremy, for those of who don't know Liverpool, that is soccer. For those out there unfamiliar,
In England,
aka
It's
the
football,
biggest
damn
sport. No, we talk trash, but soccer, aka football, is the biggest sport in the world. Well, anyway, in this episode, we will be discussing. Andy, say your name for me.
Saraya.
Saraya, formerly known as Paige, debuting in AEW. A new Ring of Honor World Champion is crowned. A new All Elite Wrestling World Champion is crowned. And more. But before we get started, guys, please head on over to YouTube and search the PW Fan. You're going to find our full catalog of episodes from last year and what we got this year so far. Help us get to 100 subscribers so we can make an official YouTube URL. We got merch. New shirts available now on ProWrestlingTees.com/the PW Fan. We have 3 shirt designs available: year 1 and 2 pocket logo shirts with a back print design for $20.99 and our basic front logo print for $16.99. As low as they let us go on that site. Find us on all other social media by looking up at the PW Fan, and we kindly ask that you please subscribe and leave a review. All those things really help us out so much, you have no idea. And finally, hello, fellow kids. We are now on TikTok. All the young people can find us. We're gonna start making reels. We're gonna blow up huge, guys. I'm about to be celebrity famous, or celebrity famous, internet famous. All right, well, that takes care of our...
older in our life with that promo.
I know. Have you guys seen that meme where it's like Steve Buscemi? He's like, "Hello, fellow kids," and he's like trying to look young. He has like a backwards hat on.
The skateboard.
Yeah, that's how I feel making a PW Fan TikTok. But hey, it's pretty fun so far. All right, well, that takes care of all the social media stuff, all the corny intro. Andy, I'm going to pass it over to you. We got a big week in wrestling. Got 2 new champions crowned. We got a big debut. Take us through, buddy.
All right. No news outside of the shows this week that I can think of. You guys got anything on your mind, or is it just strictly shows this week? I couldn't think of anything.
I saw that Meltzer reporting, we'll say Figure 4 Online, the Wrestling Observer, whatever you want to call it, reporting that Punk, his side is backing down, that they're saying that, Punk attacked first, and now it's a question of did he feel threatened or not. Let's just get it out of the way at the top of the show. I said something about it on our social media. We're just going to wait now until the end of the investigation. There's a lot of rumors going around that it looks like Punk might not be returning to AEW, which is seeming like the most likely scenario, and that he will get his contract bought out, which is very unfortunate. But let's just wait to get there. It's something that I feel like we've been beating a dead horse on every week. But I know that was a big thing this week, so I just wanted to get it out of the way now, and now we can just jump into some good old RASSLIN, wrestling.
Alrighty. Raw opened up this week with a match against Seth Rollins and Bobby Lashley for the United States Championship. Winner was Bobby Lashley because I think Riddle's music played, if I believe, and it distracted Seth Rollins. And Bobby Lashley got the win with a spear. I think Bobby Lashley is the only champion they haven't set up any kind of storyline for, like, his belt. It's kind of like he's been having these matches with Seth, but Seth's not really in a feud with him. He's just been having his feud is with Riddle. But
they made the U.S. title seem kind of important at first, and then now it's kind of like they have this match and there's nothing else for him.
I mean, even Gunther's in a he's in a storyline kind of with Sheamus. That feud's not done, but we'll have to see what happens. There's a little bit of time till Extreme Rules. So after that, we eventually there was a brawl backstage, Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins, and Riddle yelled out "Fight Pit" to Seth Rollins. He wants a Fight Pit match at Extreme Rules, which I was a fan of in NXT. Actually,
I'm looking.
So what was that again?
The Fight Pit.
Yeah, because
it's like a steel cage, but there's like a level above that, like it's almost like a balcony kind of like area. But Riddle was in basically all of them. Timothy Thatcher was another guy that was in a. I always liked the concept. I thought they were cool matches.
Sounds cool.
So it's actually a concept being brought back. Hasn't been around since the whole Black and Gold era. I think they probably had like 3 at the most during the time, but that should
Is
be
that
good.
going to be like in front of audience then?
I think so. Yeah, it's supposed to be at Extreme Rules, so I would hope so.
Oh, cool.
So after that, eventually we had a Miz TV segment, and it's Tommaso Ciampa and Miz out there, and during the promo, you start seeing a knife cut through the mat, and out pops
so
Dexter Lumis,
bizarre.
who
It's so corny.
it just keeps happening.
It's like the horror movies when you see the person in the background cutting through, and I'm like,
When he kidnapped him the
you
other
saw the
day,
knife coming up.
when he
yeah.
kidnapped him the other day with like the chloroform, I was like, okay, that one made me laugh.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I mean, I'm sure we're going to see something tonight on Raw as well. Yeah, it was just funny. You see the knife poking through. I don't know if you started doing it too early because it took like a minute for him to actually pop up.
yeah.
But he attempted to take Miz, and then he attempted to take Ciampa. I don't think he got either or, if I'm not mistaken, or did he?
Yeah. I mean, so this guy shows up every Monday just trying to kidnap people, but, they don't arrest them.
Hopefully it's been Miz, so.
Well, yeah.
I think the week before that, he had like popped up in Miz's house. And Miz doesn't want to talk about what happened the time that he kidnapped him, so.
Very odd.
It's all for insinuation, basically.
Flashback.
And he also got
to
away, I
Dynamite.
guess. Yeah.
I would say never forget hiding right, but I want to forget hiding right.
I want to forget hiding right.
He was only there for like maybe less than a year, but God, he was. There was some insinuation for what he was doing to people.
If anybody wants to do research on Heidenreich, feel free to go back.
God knows we don't want to. Lastly, on Raw, though, something that me and Tim talked about, which is funny because I mentioned it last episode that I would want to see Finn and AJ, maybe do something. And
Triple H is listening.
Behold, yeah, he's listening to the pod as we were recording that night of Raw.
Yeah.
Hello, Hunter.
So we had a little encounter with Finn Balor and AJ Styles backstage. Judgment Day turns a corner, and I guess they see AJ, and Finn says he'll take care of it. And AJ basically says that Finn turned his back on him, but Finn said he never turned his back on him. He just joined the Judgment Day, and AJ's like, well, what am I supposed to do, join the Judgment Day? He's like, yeah. And, AJ pretty much said no, but I hope it's a tease for more to come. I think Balor was like, the offer's always on the table. And then did a little too sweet and walked away. So I'd like to see them use AJ, and I'd like to see them use them both in this way. I think it'd be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, make Judgment Day kind of like WWE's version of, I guess, the Bullet Club, really. As people keep rotating in and out. That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
No,
the
don't
Bullet
even
Club.
have AJ join. Just have AJ feud with Finn.
Why? Him and, like, with Finn and, like, everyone else there, I'm like, that'd be cool.
I don't know.
It'd be different.
Finn is the leader, though, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, I want to see. I hope it's not one of those things that they just hint at it and then nothing happens. So, I thought the moment where they had the interaction backstage was freaking cool, though. am a big fan of both of those guys. So I was very excited to see them have a little bit of interaction. They kind of do it cool with them. It reminds me and I don't mean this in a way that they dislike each other or have like animosity or whatever, but they got kind of the Sean and Brett thing going on where they're not around each other often, but when they are at the same place at the same time or do something, they like it feels special because it's not something that they do all the time. They kind of keep them away from each other, and then randomly, we're still.
It's a treat.
I feel like we're
it's a treat the fans get.
Right. What I'm really looking forward to eventually is I really want that AJ and Seth Rollins feud because I feel like they could do something cool. Plus, the matches would be crazy.
Did we never really get a full one?
I don't know if we've ever gotten like it. That doesn't feel like something that I remember being like stand out to me. I could be mistaken.
No, I mean for a while AJ was the champ on SmackDown, but Rollins was on Raw, and I don't think they've actually had a feud. They've had matches, I think, but in some way, but that'd be good. Whenever who knows how much longer this Riddle thing will go for.
They had a match on Raw that was, I think, just the singles, and then they had a Money in the Bank qualifying match, unless that's the same one. They had a champion versus champion match. So, I mean, there's a few that looks like I've missed here, but I don't know. I don't think they've worked like a big program together, I would love to see babyface AJ versus Psycho Rollins. That would be cool. He's so over, though. That's
Speaking
the problem.
Of, Rollins is coming out right now.
Yeah. We'll talk about Rollins coming out, looking good next week. Oh, man, he's rocking some cool gear. I'm into it. Like the jacket?
Yeah, I think his feud with Riddle is going to keep going until probably Randy comes back, I would think. Be the only way to like cap off the storyline.
I just wanted to
when is Randy supposed to be back?
Well, just quickly, I just wanted to point out, I was listening to Kevin Nash's Click This podcast with Sean Oliver. It's a great show. And he was talking about how, and I was just talking because I said, oh, he's got cool gear. He's got a nice jacket. He being Seth Rollins' pal. There was something that Kevin Nash said that stuck with me where he said, people will talk about technical wrestling, and this is me coming from me, guys, the old school wrestling fan. I want to see, Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat. But he said people will talk about technical wrestling and like having 5-star matches, but when I'm signing autographs, when people come up to me, they'll say stuff like, "I liked you with the blonde hair best," or "I liked when you had the black gear." He's like, that's the stuff that people like really remember all these years later, and that's when you're super over. And for some reason, that really stuck with me. I was like, that's such a good point because I say that stuff all the time. I'm like, oh, I like that gear, or like, I like this. Like presentation, it means a lot. Like it really like as far as like when you take something serious, or even like remember.
White Power Ranger gear is one of the best of all time.
Yeah, the white power. Even though Vince hated it, White power. Yeah.
No, but that's true. That's true. I mean, there's a lot of cool gear that stands out over time.
I mean, sometimes
especially
people
for certain big events. But
sometimes people are so good at what they do, it doesn't matter. Like like a Daniel or Bryan Danielson. He wears his like red and silver gear. He's wore the same thing for like 20 years, but he's just so good at what he does, it doesn't even matter. There's exceptions to the rule, I think. But anyway, that was a tangent. That was a tangent, but I think that we never really talk about guys' looks on this show, and like the look is like so important. Like the presentation, and like Seth Rollins right now, as we're watching Raw Live, looks like a star. Like he looks like the man, and I think like it does matter.
He's the man. No, I agree. Let's though switch gears again to Dynamite. We had Grand Slam this week for AEW. It was a regular 2-hour Dynamite and then a 2-hour Rampage. I don't know. Maybe I'll switch it up and just go straight AEW all the way through because it was basically one show. And then
just do it. It was one long stadium show. So Andy's gonna read the Dynamite and Rampage as if it was all one long show,
and then we'll wrap up with Smackdown.
Yeah, because it'll be easier to get through that.
Yeah, so this was it was Grand Slam at the Arthur Ashe Stadium. Dynamite opened up with Claudio Castagnoli versus Chris Jericho for the RH World Championship. Surprisingly, Jericho won. Jericho became the Ring of Honor champion for the first time. It is considered his 8th world title. He went for that ocho, as he says. I mean, people are like, did they put the belt on him to get eyes on ROH? But where's the show to watch? If that was the case, where do you watch ROH?
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that unless they had that show ready to go. Like,
Yeah.
because Tony has been saying that they've had talks with Warner Brothers, whatever. I'm like, if that's not ready to go, then why would you put on Jericho?
Yeah, I mean, I get why you made Jericho the first AEW champion ever, put eyes on it.
Yeah.
But it's like, where do you watch ROH right now?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And also, like, it's just funny to say, like, Chris Jericho's the Ring of Honor champion.
It is weird.
Like, that's something I don't think I ever thought I would say.
What do you guys think of the match, though?
I mean, I thought it was pretty good. Claudio, I feel like, is like such an underrated worker. Like, I know I say that everywhere he goes, but it's just like the power and strength that he has is insane. He doesn't look like it compared to some others.
Yeah, I had oh gosh, oh man, this is my new pet peeve, is not being able to cite the source. But I believe it was from an interview I saw on YouTube where after he had his incident in England, he being Jericho dropped 30 pounds. So I noticed that in doing these type of matches where he's doing these more classic pure wrestling matches, he did his one against Brian Brian. I was about to say Daniel Bryan, but Brian, and then doing this more pure style against Claudio. I just noticed he moves around a lot better. He looks really healthy, and he can put on a banger of a match still, even at his age, man. I got nothing but respect for that dude. I mean, we laugh and his corny ideas sometimes we'll eye roll at, but overall, I mean, Chris Jericho's a great wrestler, always has been.
Like that Ocho, where he's trying to get that over. It's not over.
Tries to get everything over that he says.
Well, I think we said if anybody gets this Mean Girls reference, we were saying stop trying to make fetch happen. Sometimes you just got to let it go. You just got to let it go. It's not working.
He made a shirt of it already.
It's like, don't force
Jericho,
it.
though, beginning of the match did not.
Yeah.
Jericho in the beginning of the match did not do the Code of Honor thing they do. I believe he just slapped him instead.
Didn't he eventually shake his hand?
I don't think so. I don't know.
I thought he wasn't going to, then he did, and then I saw jokes because Eddie Kingston, all he wanted was a handshake from Chris Jericho, and he shook Claudio's in the beginning of the match.
Well, did Jericho cheat to win? Did he low blow?
Yeah.
And then juice effect?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Daniel Garcia isn't very happy that he did that.
He won without
He was the only
honor.
one not celebrating with them.
Yeah.
So, that's eventually going to come to blows. I think you're going to have the ROH World Champion versus the Pure Champion, and yeah. I mean, I feel like it's coming time for Daniel Garcia to go off on his own too.
Yeah.
It's funny to think about where he was in the beginning of that whole group, and now he's like, oh, Daniel Garcia is actually he's really good.
Yeah.
Moving forward, something I thought should have happened at the pay-per-view, but maybe they weren't expecting how over these guys were. The Acclaimed versus Swerve and Our Glory for the AW Tag Team Championships. The Acclaimed won. Scissor me, daddy ass.
Scissor me, daddy ass.
And they are huge pop. They are the new AW Tag Team Champions. It's a weird thing at the end where Keith Lee shook their hands, but Swerve is just at the top of the ramp. It was kind of awkward.
Yeah, that was
He
kind of
left
awkward
by himself.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Acclaimed is as over as FTR was a couple months ago. I mean, FTR is still over, but when they were really on the come up a couple months ago, they're it's as loud as any big pop right now in the company.
I did see, speaking of just Swerve and Keith Lee, just because, now that we are on TikTok, tiktok.com/
I knew you were going to say this.
fan, I saw this great video of them going into a classroom at like a local elementary school when they were still the champions. I mean,
Like a
these
wrestling
kids.
There's a wrestling group at the classroom.
Yeah, he does like an after school thing, and man, it is so cool. I was like, man, these kids were. It's really cool. I hope it's hard, I guess, with TikTok to like, unless someone has a direct link to really show somebody. But if you come across it, it's a really neat video. I know you guys both saw it.
I just saw it like an hour before we even got on.
That's the good stuff. You know, we make jokes on the show and we poke fun and like blah blah blah. But like that's the good real stuff.
Yeah.
So after that, we had another title match. This whole thing was basically every title was on the line. Pac versus Orange Cassidy for the All Atlantic Championship. Winner was Pac. Solid match. What do you guys think? Nothing
I
special?
thought their first match was better back in 2020 or whatever it was. But yeah, I think Orange Cassidy's character has kind of changed since then. Like, because before it was more of like he didn't care, and that was really over at that point. And like Pac's obviously a really intense wrestler, and now it's kind of like Orange Cassidy's character is like not really the same anymore. Like he kind of cares now, or he shows intensity a little bit, so it's not really the same.
I think that's like something that.
You mean he's taking wrestling more seriously?
Yeah.
Well, I think finally, you know what? Not just us though. Like a lot of people. Sorry, I'm making a weird face. I was about to sneeze. I'm trying to hold it in, get mental focus. Sorry, I couldn't do it.
Way to hold it up.
I was trying to do some like some kind of like monk, like Buddha type thing, but I couldn't hold it in. It had to come out. But no, I think not just us. We've been saying for months that the whole like the joke was funny 3 years ago, and it's the same thing. I like that he shows intensity. I thought like his hands weren't in his pockets the whole time, and he took his sunglasses off and he just made facial expressions when big things happened. And this is just something.
You guys remember how good his match with Royal Ospreay at Forbidden Door was?
Yeah, best match on the card.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I'll give him his props. I mean, I bust his balls about like I'm just like, come on, dude, like do something else. But
He's a very good wrestler.
Yeah, I genuinely think that. Underneath all the joking around,
Maybe it's just like you don't like.
I like when he tries. When they do the thing where he's like, he's gonna try. I'm like, thank you. That's what I want to see.
Our next match was a Fatal 4-Way for the Interim Women's Championship. We had the champion Toni Storm versus Britt Baker versus Athena versus Serena Deeb. Winner was Toni Storm. Afterwards, Jamie Hayter reunites with Britt Baker. And Serena, Britt, and Jamie attack Athena and Toni Storm afterwards. All of a sudden, you hear some music. You're not really sure who it is because we've never heard it before, unless you're me who listens to Falling in Reverse. And on the Titantron, well, I knew the music because it's her boyfriend's band. I listened to Falling in Reverse. Yes, it's called Zombified by Ronnie Radke's band. Tim hates the song, but yeah, on the screen pops up Saraya, and the crowd goes nuts. Saraya is formerly known as Paige from WWE. She comes out. All the ladies leave the ring. It's interesting, though, because she didn't get physical at all. I mean, she's going to talk this Wednesday. Is she cleared to wrestle? What is her role going to be? I hope it's wrestling. If so, strap her up. But
you got a star then right there.
If that is the case, I'm very excited to see her in AEW. What's your guys' thoughts?
It sounded like she was there to wrestle because she even like did the thing of like come in the ring like wanting to fight, and even the commentators were kind of saying like the landscape of the women's division changed now, meaning hopefully that she is actually going to wrestle. So I don't know. It sounded like she maybe is about to be cleared and wasn't cleared yet, but I don't know. WWE did. I heard that they did have interest as well. So
Yeah, they reached out
I
to
don't
her
know.
at some point.
Yeah. But that was
WWE's
awesome,
been
though.
reaching
That was
out
like
to
the
a lot
loudest
of
pop,
people.
I think, of the night.
This is true.
Are we going to talk
Yeah.
anything about that? Have you guys heard anything about that? I got some stuff.
Well, would you
we're about
think?
to talk about House of Black in a little bit. We can talk about.
I'm talking
Some
about the
stuff, when we
Bobby
get to
Fish.
that.
I'm talking about the Bobby Fish stuff.
Dude,
I
that
just read
stuff was
before
hilarious.
we started recording that they have not reached out to him.
Yeah, because
But-
Bobby Fish. Or do you want to talk about it now?
Let's just.
Tim's already brought it up, so yeah.
All right. All right, Tim, you go ahead with it.
Well, the last thing I read, I mean, tell me if I'm mistaken. The last thing I read is that Bobby Fish had kind of on behalf of Triple H, like, or WWE, like, just kind of asked the other undisputed guys, like, what the situation was and if they wanted to come back. Dude, Triple H is a savage, dude. He does not give a fuck. He's like, I'm going to get my dudes back.
Yeah, you know what's funny though? I've seen so many memes about that right now.
Well,
That's what I'm reading right now. which
WWE
is
never contacted
never
Bobby
contacted
Fish.
Bobby Fish
Yeah.
about returning.
Is that
Yeah,
ringside
I've seen
news?
so many memes.
That's ringside news.
Our friends over
The
at
memes about
Ringside.
Bobby Fish was hilarious because it's like he tried to get Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly to leave, and they were like, "Nah, I'm good." And then he left, and then was like trying to go WWE, and no one wanted him, so now he's in Impact.
That's what I heard.
Like,
That's
he's
the
not
version.
contracted
That's
with
the
Impact.
version I heard.
He's not
Like, that worked
contracted
out well.
with Impact, though.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
did pop up, but he's not contracted with them.
I'm
But
off
it's
the
so
Bobby
funny, like-
Fish train ever since I found out he believes in the lizard people and that the secret pedophiles in the pizza place are real. So, moving on from the Fish Man.
All right. Well, our main event. Yeah. Well, any other thoughts to add to the Saraya debut, or I think her
I
and
just
Britt
really
Baker
hope that.
could have a good feud.
Yeah, I really hope she can wrestle, but yeah, she's an actual star that AEW finally.
Well,
got
that's
for
what I
women's.
texted you guys. I was like, they've gotten like big names from WWE, like Bryan Danielson. I guess you could say CM Punk, Chris Jericho,
Yeah.
but they've gotten women wrestlers from that were in WWE before, but none that were like a big name
Yeah,
like Paige was over there. You know,
I
but
mean,
WWE
that's
also has signed women to like they signed like all of the women wrestlers like a couple of years ago when they were going through that phase, and they signed them all up. And it was like now there's no one left really.
yeah. But this is the
I
first.
mean,
you know, big.
this is their
women's
biggest.
star.
Yeah, I mean, this is their biggest signing since the night. I mean, besides Punk, I mean, as big as when Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan came back. I mean, Paige or Sierra. How do you, I'm really sorry. How do you say the new name?
Sir Ray.
Saraya is somebody that people have been wanting to see back for a while. I mean, for years.
I think as soon as her contract with WWE was up a couple months ago, everyone kind of speculated that
Yeah,
she might try to come over to AEW.
Saraya's going to be like, "This is my house.
She already was
She already
yelling in
said
the
that.
ring.
Yeah,
This is my house."
that was
Tim
kind of
Botch's,
cool though. That
British accent.
No disrespect to our friends across the pond.
that's
Okay,
awful.
main event was John Moxley versus Bryan Danielson.
Let me tell you
For the
something,
vacated-
lassie. I'm just kidding.
AEW World Championship.
Now we're in Ireland.
John Moxley versus Bryan Danielson for the vacated AEW World Championship. Winner in the end was John Moxley. He tapped out Daniel Bryan, I believe, or made him pass out.
Pass out.
Pass out. Would he choke him out?
Yeah, with that bulldog choke, which I never really liked the ending, like because it's like they set it up and it's like at first, like the first like 10 seconds, the crowd's like, oh, is he gonna tap? And then after like 30 seconds, they're like, all right. And then like when the bell rings, it's not like that climax.
Did Moxley
then-
bleed in this match?
I don't think he did.
Oh,
I don't think he did.
what'd you guys think? They had a match at a pay-per-view before they formed Blackpool Combat Club. What'd you guys think this one compared to that? I think
Yeah,
that
I
one
kind of
was
like the
better.
last one. Yeah.
Oh, the final
That's a
one?
little-
The one we
no,
just saw?
I mean like the one before. The one before
first one.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that one's a little bit better. I
Moxley
mean, this
says,
one was
I
still
don't trust a
good.
man unless I bleed with him first.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, that the blood with their match made it so much better.
Well, MJF was up in the stands the whole time with his chip, and that's the real star right now in my mind. I went on a tangent this week of watching his Ariel Helwani interview, on wrestling at Barstool Sports, and then his video of Answers the Internet, which was funny as shit, too.
Good. He's the best wrestler in the world right now. I'm saying it. Full package. I'm not just saying going
great.
out and like having a banger. I'm saying like his character is so good. It brings me back to when I was a kid and the person felt larger than life. They're supposed to feel like they're like transcending, like, you know what I mean? Like his character is just so huge.
Well, Wardlow said something recently about Max and said that he's actually like, he said he's a giant prick, and he's like, people think it's all like an act. He's like, nah, like that's just how he is. But I still don't know if I believe that or not.
Well, also Wardlow's probably pissed off because when MJF walked out and everything, that was like his moment, of Wardlow's moment, and then he ruined it, and then he's never really recovered from it.
I don't know. Because, like, you see him, like, at the signings, and, like, yeah, he's being an asshole to these kids, but he's still, like,
he's in character.
A little bit smiling about, like, kind of the shit talking he says.
I've
like,
seen him.
100% believe.
I've seen, like, a video where he made a kid kind of sad one time, and he, like, winked at him. And then, like stuff like that. Like, but also, I don't want to ruin the illusion, but I have heard on another podcast by the guy that trained him, and he even said, he's like, if anybody knows Max, he's like, and then he kind of stopped himself. He's like, well, you know, he's like, I don't want to say anything because it's, you know, his character is like a certain way. I think he's a nice guy, but we shouldn't, you know, his character, like, I'm glad that he takes it so serious, you know.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's just even in these interviews, he was an asshole to both interviewers. He was talking shit during Answers to the Internet. It was funny.
Well, at least, you know, he's getting paid over $1 million a year now, right?
I think that's what was announced.
But
it's at least $1 million.
Don't forget, if you watch one of those interviews, you can tell the parts where he breaks in and out of character. He said when they're talking about the locker room drama behind the scenes. He says, well, I don't have many friends and I don't associate with many people, but the people that are there, they love AEW and they care. So it's like he's trying to like...
He's like, I only get by myself, but they love the company.
Yeah, but like, so he has to, like, you know, but those are the times where it's like he's trying to do both. And I think you can see the real person under there a little bit. And those are the only times. No, but those are the only times where just a little bit you just are like, I know he's trying to say something here, but he can't say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love when he's just sitting around. He's just like, I'm making so much money. He's like, they're paying so much money.
Yeah, the parts where he talks about AEW and WWE, like the tribalism thing, that's where like he kind of almost breaks a little bit more.
I love those
any
parts. Yeah, he's like, yeah, Roman Reigns. He's like, we the ones.
Because
you watch it. He's like, what is this tribalism stuff?
He goes, he's like, are you a fan? He's like, of course.
We the ones. And then he said he wanted to say Sami Zayn was his favorite member of the Bloodline, but because he's not official in the Bloodline, he said Paul. He said his Uncle Paul.
Uncle Paul.
Good stuff if you haven't watched them. Very entertaining. 2 interviews are about an hour, and then the Answers to the Internet with Barstool is, I think it's Barstool. I know wrestling is, but anyway, so you guys enjoyed the match with Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley. How do you guys feel about the winner? Business-wise, I feel like it made sense. I wanted Danielson to win, but I mean, yeah.
I mean, I think it's
the
good
safe
because
bet. I think.
Yeah, but it's also whoever wins MJF is gonna be the champion at some point.
They've already planted those seeds for that storyline, but I think in the end, MJF's gonna be the next.
Yeah, and so I think also champion. like Bryan Danielson, you want him to have a good title reign whenever he has it. You don't want him to be like transitional for his first one.
Yeah.
So I think that was good.
The next pay-per-view would be Full Gear?
Yeah, which actually is only like a month and a half. Like this is one of their shorter like breaks between pay-per-views, where it's only like 2 months or something like that.
No. That's what I'm waiting for, is for MJF to cash that chip in. And I think in those interviews, he did say that basically the chip is kind of like the Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I think
But you have to
Tony Khan
say
said that
something
too,
to someone beforehand. Like, he was saying,
well,
like, I have to
like,
tell
you know, you run
Tony
down
I'm
with
going to
the
cash it in. Yeah, or something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
He was talking to Ariel Helwani, but that wrapped up Dynamite. Let's get into Rampage. It was a 2-hour show with 7 matches. Opened up with House of Black versus Sting and Darby Allin. No DQ. Winners were Sting and Darby Allin. It ended with they had Sting tied up to a chair, and he starts laughing, and the lights go black. And out comes the Great Muta, who I believe is on his last year of wrestling.
Yeah.
I think that's what they said. Is he going to have a match with Sting? Either way, Great Muta came out and did the miss to Buddy Matthews, I believe. And they got the win. Sting and Darby got the win. Great Muta and Sting were longtime rivals back in the day.
Whoa. No offense to Sting and Great Muta, but we cannot just glance over Julia Hart just totally getting after the miss. Yeah, just getting absolutely annihilated through the table.
Okay, the table spot. So, Buddy Matthews, I believe, falls into Julia Hart, and she falls backwards, and she's supposed to go through a table, but instead she goes through the side of the table, which I don't even know how that side of the table broke, but that girl smashed right up against that barricade onto the concrete floor.
She was like 2 inches from hitting her head on that rail.
And then think about that. She seriously could
I don't know if she jumped too far back.
Like that's like some scary stuff.
Oh, yeah,
like
she smacked the back of her head on that concrete.
Oh my god!
Well,
no,
like the padding, but yeah.
Or the railing. Like, what if her neck snapped on the railing, dude? Oh, I
think her head missed the railing by like an inch.
Feel weird just thinking about it. Ugh. Scary.
Yeah, there was a view of like the fans sitting right there, and they were like recording at that time, and you see her head just come like flying through, and it was like so close to like the railing. If that would have hit, that would have been really bad.
Well, I haven't read anything about her being injured or anything, so I guess that's good.
She said she's fine.
She said she's okay.
That's still scary.
I mean, but like literally, like if you almost get in a head-on collision and it doesn't happen, does that make it less scary? Like, dude, like
it's still terrifying.
She still
but
could
the
have
end result is better than it could.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm glad she's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
just move the table out next time.
Forgot about that part. I didn't write down my notes, though. I did watch it live, and
it like
I
haunted
reacted
my
to
dreams
it to myself. But
yeah,
it
was haunting my dreams, bro.
So, one thing, did we hear at all? Is Great Muta gonna wrestle Sting for his last match or something? Are they gonna have a match?
Sting's involved in his last match. I'm not sure if it's against him. I think it might be though.
Okay.
I know it's in Japan, I think, right?
And 2, there's rumors going around that Buddy Matthews is leaving AEW. We don't know for a fact. I think what we do know is that he's on some kind of break. Whether he's leaving the company for good or not. Because him and Malachi both have years on their contract. I think they signed like a 5-year deal.
Yeah.
I don't know if both are... Well, we talked about the Malachi Black thing, but... Rumors are getting, shut down left and right about Buddy Matthews. So all we really do know is that he's taking some kind of break from AEW. I won't say he's leaving. I won't say he's leaving to go to WWE, but he is going to be on some hiatus. And then you just have Brody King then and Julia Hart.
Yeah.
Which, Brody King's great. Maybe he'll get a push out of those 2 guys being gone.
Yeah.
2 guys leave, your spot kind of opens up a little bit more.
Just in case, I think
we talked about that a lot in the podcast.
I think we covered this in an episode like 10 episodes ago, but just throwing this out there one more time. Brody King, that gigantic, terrifying man, is the vocalist of a band called God's Hate.
God's Hate. You can find a video of him stage diving onto a bunch of young people.
So scary.
That's
God's hate.
After that, we had Action Bronson and Hook teaming up to take on Cool Hand, Angelo Parker, and Daddy
Smoked
Magic
turkey.
Matt Menard. In my notes,
Hey,
I wrote
did you
Angela.
see their promo before this match? Like it was on one of the Road to whatever YouTube videos. But what is it? Matt Menard and Angelo Parker, they cut an amazing promo, basically saying like to Action Bronson, like, you're a celebrity. This is our sanctuary, basically here, and all this stuff. And I was like, and by the end of it, I'm like, I'm on their side right now.
Well, they are a solid team. It's just, I don't know. Action Bronson does Hook's theme song. They came out. Action Bronson
that was pretty cool.
rapping the theme song himself to the instrumental in the background. He didn't do, Hook did most of the in-ring work, but when he got in there, he was doing some slams. He's a big
He moved
boy.
pretty good.
For a big guy, he does move pretty fucking fast. That is for sure.
Yeah. Even JR was like, he must have played football.
Yeah, he used to be a lot heavier. He's lost a lot of weight over the past few years, but
yeah, I gotta say it's fucked up. I was reading all the comments and people were like, "Who's the fat guy?" And I was like, "Damn, bro, he's lost seriously almost 100 pounds or something. It's crazy."
he's also like a killer rapper.
Yeah,
Oh,
and people
dude.
were like, "Oh, he can actually rap." I'm like, "Yeah."
Yes, dude. Okay,
Yeah,
first
like
of
he
all,
did.
I don't know.
yo, all jokes aside, Action Bronson's the fucking man. If you haven't heard his music and you like hip hop, you need to go do that right now.
Am I correct in saying that was his hometown?
All right,
Sorry,
edit
I'm
that.
zoned in a raw also. No,
Yeah,
wasn't that his
hometown, yeah.
hometown
Yeah.
also?
Yeah.
It's a big pop for him there. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, AEW doesn't seem... Well, this show, never mind, had two. I was about to say AEW doesn't do the celebrity that often, but this show itself had two in some way brought in.
Usually
At least they're
it
not
does.
doing the MMA guys anymore, all right? I haven't seen Dan Lambert
Yeah.
in a while. Though he's a great promo
good.
for being a piece of shit character he played on TV.
I mean, was he though? He kind of just ended up cutting the same promo every time. It was always like, "This sucks."
Yeah, that's true. Maybe
I
it was
mean,
guys like
when he
you
was talking shit to
flyers.
Brandy Rhodes.
Yeah. When it was like Cody and Brandy, it was
Yeah,
pretty
when he was
good.
talking shit to Cody and Brandy Rhodes, that was kind of funny. But, so after that, we had Wardlow and Samoa Joe teaming up to take on Tony Nese and Josh Woods. Pretty quick match. Winners were Samoa Joe and Wardlow, but it looked like Wardlow got hurt. I don't know if he actually was hurt, but he came over the top rope and was out the rest of the match, grabbing his leg on the outside. Until the very end, I think he came in and saved it. But,
Grabbing his
Joking must
have-
leg on the outside.
his knee, something. It didn't
You
even
took
look
like
that
a
bad when he
dramatic-
flipped over, so I
But
was
you
like,
took
I
like a
wonder if
dramatic pause. You were like grabbing his leg.
I was gonna say knee, and then I was like leg, and then it's like, maybe.
And
it
then you
wasn't
were
knee.
like,
either way,
"Dick."
that's not what went through my head at all. But Samoa Joe and Wardlow end up winning. I don't know how you just don't see this coming as a fan of them beating
Yeah.
Tony Nese and Josh Woods.
This is just like a one-time thing, it feels like. So it's like, of course they're going to win.
Oh wow, we're getting Kevin Owens and Johnny Gargano teaming up tonight against Alpha Academy. Nice. Nice. All right. After that, we had Jungle Boy versus Ray Phoenix, which this was kind of
Nice.
randomly thrown together, in my opinion. But winner was Jungle Boy. Solid match. Ray Phoenix is a video game character.
He's insane.
Yeah. He's not real when it comes to the stuff he can do.
It's his
Absolutely
balance on
insane.
the ropes and everything. Like he could run around the entire ring on the ropes if he wanted to. Like it's insane.
What are your thoughts, Tim?
Oh, I mean, he's an incredible athlete. Like the lucha isn't like my favorite thing, but I mean, it's absolutely spectacular to see.
I saw some clips of Eddie Guerrero today doing some stuff against Team Angle when he was in Los Guerreros. Some pretty cool stuff.
Lucha's a lot like very like I think the thing that I don't like about it is that I wish it looked more like it
Not choreographed.
yeah, but like
less
also
choreographed.
like when it's like almost like it's like a routine of like I don't want to say a dance routine, but it's like so smooth, you know, where I liked it a little bit of grit. I like a little bit of ugly in my wrestling.
It's kind of like Dante Martin, where like some of his moves look kind of just too
It's
like yeah.
I like a lot.
Unless,
I
of
like a
course,
little.
it's Halloween Havoc, Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio.
But there was grit on there, dude. They beat the fuck out of each other. Or excuse me, sorry. That was
And
an
also,
intense
at that time,
descriptive-
you hadn't seen that stuff at all. You hadn't seen that
Yeah,
stuff
that's
at all at
true.
the time that happened. Now you see
Yeah.
this stuff all the time, but yeah. So after Jungle Boy's match, Christian Cage comes out. Arm is still in his sling, and then from behind, Luchasaurus attacks. Did Jungle Boy get the better of Luchasaurus or no?
This time,
I know he went after him, and then Luchasaurus did a headbutt. But did he keep Jungle Boy down, or did Jungle Boy kind of get out of it?
pretty sure I kept him down.
Okay. That's what I was thinking. After that, we had Eddie Kingston versus Sammy Guevara. What do you got? Okay, so first off, the winner was Eddie Kingston. We know these two guys actually don't like each other in real life. Winner was Eddie Kingston originally. Well, when I will start with this. Sammy Guevara came out and he's like, Eddie, I just want to apologize for not calling you a fat piece of shit sooner. And then they start brawling right after that, which is what, the whole original beef with them backstage kind of was. Is he, in his promo, called him fat piece of shit, basically. So Sammy comes out.
That was funny.
Sorry for not calling you fat piece of shit sooner. Start brawling. Pretty good match. Eddie Kingston was the winner, but he had him in a hold like around his head, neck, and wouldn't let go. And after long enough, the ref, I've never seen this before, but reversed the decision. Even though the decision was
like,
made,
what?
he just kept holding it afterwards. They reversed the decision and said Sammy Guevara won.
What?
Yeah, I've never seen that.
You don't
I don't
remember
think
that?
that's
And
a thing.
I've never seen it in AW.
You what, Tim?
I don't think that's a thing.
I've never seen it before. All my years watching wrestling.
Oh. Yeah, I don't think
That's what happened.
I
He
don't-
reversed it. And then
I don't
Eddie
think that's
Kingston
a-
starts freaking out and takes out security guards.
They just start ringing the bell after that. They never like reversed the decision.
Yeah. Just security comes out. They never have been like, you know what? You're an asshole. You get this law.
Yeah.
Whatever. I guess it's the only way they want to keep this feud going.
I thought it was
Something like
over
that.
after this.
Apparently not. After that, didn't care for this match at all. Jade Cargill versus Diamante.
I
And the
haven't seen that
celebrity.
Diamante person like over a year.
Yeah. I mean, hasn't she been on Dark pretty much every week?
Yeah.
Just about. Trina, she was a 90s rapper. Correct?
I think
I
so.
sound like an old man. But if I was an old man, I should know. But she was out there supposedly supporting Diamante. For some reason, I thought she was going to wrestle. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Did she
I don't
even do
know.
anything?
They did like a backstage segment too, and I don't know. It was like pushing and shoving.
In the end, she was on Jade's side. Jade's the baddest bitch or whatever, and then she's the real bitch or something. The original bitch or something.
I wish they would
Bunch
give
of bitches.
Jade like an actual storyline.
Against who? Who's
I
believable?
don't know. Make someone
Paige?
believable.
I mean, Soraya?
It's all right.
Soraya.
I mean, if there's one person to, end the streak for her, that's the only person right now.
Well, our main event. Golden Ticket Battle Royal. I don't know if you watching this, you saw who was in it and didn't already know who the winner was going to be.
Do you think it was
Just saying.
Danhausen?
Yeah. Putting curses. I mean, Chris Jericho was selling those curses on commentary.
No swearing.
It was
Did you
very
guys see
obvious
that,
to
Adam?
me.
Did you guys see that Adam Levine meme with Danhausen?
Yeah.
No.
It says
He said no swearing.
he said that body of yours is fucking absurd. He said no swearing.
But in this match, oh, by the way, I knew I was forgetting someone when we were talking about the firm last week. Lee Moriarty was the other guy I was missing. I was saying everyone else. I was like, I think I'm forgetting someone. Well, I was.
Who?
So yeah, this Golden Ticket Battle Royal had the winner was Hangman Adam Page. It had Danhausen, had Matt Hardy, had Lee Moriarty. It had
It's Matt Hardy.
Matt Hardy. Dante Martin was in it. Butcher, Blade,
Yeah.
Roosh. It came down to Roosh and Hangman.
Yes,
But
obvious.
still, right from the get-go, it was obvious of who was going to win. Hangman was the only
Party
one.
and Matt Hardy like hugged or whatever. You see that?
No.
Oh.
Oh, Private Party and Matt Hardy had like a moment, and I guess they're like back together. I'm
Party.
like, what?
And then you hear dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
And then Jeff runs out and he's like, I'm back from rehab. All right, anyways.
Look, Jeff, you're not even in the match. I'm gonna win it.
When he starts climbing a ladder, there's nothing even up there.
Doing this for court.
Oh, man.
You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of remember R-Truth when he would do these things where he would like think he's in matches.
And you would pull out a ladder, and everyone's just
Oh,
like,
yeah, exactly.
It's like, what are you doing?
Yes, that'd be amazing. That should be Jeff Hardy's new character.
pulling out ladders.
He starts to, like, everything's a ladder match.
Party, but that would be hilarious. This match is going to be awesome. That's on Raw. I think. I hope.
No spoilers.
So yeah, one thing to add to this Golden Ticket Battle Royal, I don't understand the point of it when MJF already has the chip.
We
Now
gotta
you
move
have
on
two
from
guys
this
that
chip
can go for
thing.
the belt whenever.
We don't know what the chip means.
No.
We don't know. Can he cash in the chip?
We know
How
what the
does the
chip
chip
means.
work?
MJF has talked about it. I'm just saying, why is there two people with opportunities for the title?
It's just so they can make up championship matches.
I mean, I don't expect you guys to have the answer. I just don't understand.
There's one
Tony?
this Wednesday where it's Moxley and Juice
Hangman's
Robinson.
run before was not all that great, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's gonna lose, so it doesn't really
I can
matter.
have MJF
Yeah.
beat both of them.
Yeah, jobber.
I mean,
Wrap them up.
maybe it is because of that, like Hangman, Moxley, and then MJF's gonna cash in.
Strap the
We
rocket
don't
to
want Moxley
MJF.
to get pinned.
Let's go.
But Hangman, you're getting punished, and we're gonna get you be the one to lose. You're gonna take the fall, Hangman.
Do you think that's how
It's gonna
Tony
be like
said
the
it to
Seth
him?
Rollins style.
That's exactly how Tony said it to me. Yeah.
Tony was like, "You're gonna take it the fall, Hangman."
Oh.
He has like a New York accent backstage.
Yeah, he's like a
It's like, Tony,
mobster.
what happened to you?
I don't know. Maybe it's not a good idea to make fun of a billionaire. You know?
Well, that wrapped up Grand Slam. We'll move on from your company, Tony. It's gonna be a good week. It's gonna be the best show ever. It's gonna be 30,000 people down the North Stadium. Dude, when we saw him live, me and Jeremy, you were out getting pizza or something.
We
Me and
were,
Jeremy like,
dude, it
"What
was
the
so
fuck did you just say?"
funny, dude. Oh,
It's gonna be a good show. You guys are gonna really love it. We got a bunch of stars. And then he does the same thing right before Rampage. He's like, stick around. We got more coming.
well, you have to because
Smackdown.
goddamn, we were tired at the end of that.
Yeah, it's a long show.
Well, it was probably an hour longer, I would think, for Grand Slam for them.
Yeah, probably went at least until 1 a.m.
Jesus Christ. SmackDown opened this week with the Bloodline. Roman Reigns was actually on the show. And what I got out of the first segment is Roman gave Sammy an honorary Uso shirt. He officially acknowledged him as an honorary Uso. Everyone's
But not
hyped
before
about it.
Jay ripped it off.
Yeah, and Jay's not a fan of Sammy. That seems to be the story that's being told every week. Is Sammy keeps getting more and more favored by members of the Bloodline, except for Jay. That's the long-term story out of this whole thing, and I love it. Sami Zayn is amazing as being part of the Bloodline.
He's like the best part of the show right now.
Oh my god, it's so good. And obviously he'll be on Raw. He's going to wrestle AJ tonight.
He's defending the honor, that's what he said.
Yeah, defending the honor. It was announced that we're going to get Gunther versus Sheamus Part 2. Is that going to be in Extreme Rules?
I think so.
Either way, I'm hyped for it.
It's for the title.
Yeah, it's for the Intercontinental title again, just like at Clash of the Castle.
Yeah.
I texted you guys this. This wasn't on SmackDown, but they announced that for 25 years of DX, they're going to have DX on the show. It'll be interesting if Billy Gunn shows up and all the fans on WWE start chanting "Scissor Me Daddy." Just my thought. It'd be hilarious to watch.
Yeah, I'm like I said, like when I texted you back, I was like, I really want to see that because I want to see how many people actually watch it. Then that'd be cool.
I'd see I
don't know.
the crossover.
Yeah, and also like
Drew
Triple H's
McIntyre-
reaction to that.
He's gonna be like, "Shut up with that shit."
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre challenged Karrion Kross to a strap match, which I don't think we've seen in a while in WWE. We saw it on AEW with Cody, right?
Yeah, and then someone else
Cody and
did
Brody
it,
Lee?
right? Yeah. And then
Or
I
was
think
that
they did
Dog
it
Collar?
again. No, that was Dog Collar, yeah, because that was what Punk did with MJF too.
But they did do it twice, okay. But someone definitely had a strap match. I just can't remember. Can't remember who it was in AEW. But yeah, Karrion Kross comes out. He starts fighting with him. Kross gets in the corner, and Scarlett goes to protect him, and then she shoots a fireball out of her hand, I guess.
Where that came from.
Bro, you got to
to
stop with those
Vince
dramatic
backstage.
pauses. Every time
I'm
you
sorry.
kill me. Either that or I just got a dirty mind, but every time you're like, she shoots a fireball out of her hand.
Dude, I don't know where it was supposed to really go. It was supposed to make it look like it was,
Oh,
but it looked
man.
like it came from like the
Andy's-
side and then just like went
Andy's
out.
like a young... You're like a young William Shatner.
Okay. I only
She
said
gonna call herself a wizard now?
I paused because it was supposed to make it look like it came out the hands, but it just
Dramatic pause.
didn't. You'd have to watch the clip.
Yeah.
It makes sense if you saw the clip, all right? Karrion Kross starts fighting back with him and gives a pretty good little spine buster to him. Karrion Kross gets the upper hand, and it looks like they're going to have a strap match at Extreme Rules. So right now we have a strap match, fight pit. Is there anything else I can think of stipulation-wise?
I don't know right now. I just know all of the matches have stipulations, which is a crazy thing to think of for Extreme Rules.
Yeah, well, I'm sure more is going to come. Our main event, though, was the Brawling Brutes versus the Usos for the Tag Team Championships. They got an opportunity the week before. Good match. Brawling Brutes, they're getting over. Usos are already over. Really good match, though, I thought. Winners were the Usos. I mean, no surprise there. But, yeah, any thoughts on them, on the match? It's good to see Butch
Yeah.
kind of back to his old ways again.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. It's like they're finally, I feel like their group with Sheamus is like really gelling right now, like with
At
everyone.
first, when it started, I was like, I don't know about this. But now, you're
Yeah.
right. It's definitely,
Yeah.
it's
It
come
feels
to
like
its
it's like
own.
an actual team. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Usos, they always put on great matches. So,
Always.
what do you expect?
Yeah, I thought it was solid overall.
But yeah, that wraps up this week. You know, we got new champions, debut from Saraya. Good stuff.
All right. Well, I got
Dramatic
a couple
pause.
things. Dramatic pause. I have a couple things to close us out here. We started our new segment last week, which is because I am the old school wrestling fan. This is the classic show of the week. So if you're a listener of the show, I give the listeners a little bit of homework. I'm giving you youngsters a little bit of homework. All right, so go back, watch WrestleMania 19. It's a great card. I would put it up there as one of the best WrestleManias, but very
One of the best
underrated.
WrestleManias.
Yeah, it's super underrated. You have The Rock versus Stone Cold 3, Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar, where Brock has his infamous shooting star press, Vince McMahon versus Hulk
HBK's
Hogan.
first WrestleMania back.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho. Yeah, this is an amazing card. Obviously, you can
Rey
find that
Mysterio
on
versus
Peacock.
Matt Hardy. Trying
Well,
to think.
yeah,
It's all coming back to
that-
me.
Yeah, there was a couple.
Cruiserweight Championship.
Oh, Triple H
Mysterio,
versus
Matt
Booker
Hardy.
T. Yeah.
Yes.
Go back and enjoy that show, WrestleMania 19. And we just wanted to say that this week's show was brought to you by Slippery Stallions. Slippery Stallions, just a quick explanation on that. Our old friend Swayze and the MF Kimsel bring you weekly episodes, just shooting the shit, a podcast about nothing, where they talk about super funny, being from Maryland, a lot of stuff about being from Baltimore and inside jokes. And if you are from the East Coast, I think you guys would appreciate the show. They have invited us to do some sort of collaboration at some point, which would be hysterical. They do not do wrestling. It's just kind of them telling stories, and it's a really entertaining show. So we appreciate those guys. They've been posting a lot about they've been posting a lot about us, and they have a nice following. So we thank them for doing that. And with all that being said, that about wraps up this week. We thank you so much for joining us for episode 53. And we can't wait to be back next week to talk all things pro wrestling. All right, everybody, have a great week. WrestleMania 19. Go enjoy.